Today we're going to talk about whole grains. I'm going to go through a few different grains that have gluten in them, the ones that are gluten-free, and some interesting ways that you can include them into your diet. In one of the Whole Foods classes that I taught, I had a woman tell me after, I thought there was only white and brown flour. I had no idea that there's all these different grains. And the reason why it's so great to include these different grains into your diet is it's just like if you were to eat an apple every single day. An apple's good for you, but there's so many other fruits with different vitamins and minerals that are also great to include into your diet. So I'm going to go through some of these different grains so that you can get kind of a bigger picture of all that's out there. First, I'm going to show you spelt. Spelt is an ancient grain that's kind of a sister grain to wheat. It has gluten in it, and spelt is great because it has 60% more protein than wheat. And you can sub out 1-for-1 in recipes with spelt. Spelt makes great bread. And a lot of times people that have a gluten intolerance can tolerate spelt because it's a lot lower gluten than wheat. So there's spelt. The next one is kamut. Kamut, again, is in the same family as wheat, but kamut has 20 to 40% more protein, so not quite as much as spelt, but still a lot more protein than wheat. And kamut is great for cookies and quick breads and anything that you want a light texture. I know sometimes when you substitute wheat for white flour, it has kind of a more dense feel to it. It has that wheaty taste. And that's why these grains are so awesome, because they don't have that same hearty taste if you're not looking for that in a cookie. And it also makes a lighter baked good. So these are a great option. Another good option if you're going to use wheat is to go for soft white wheat rather than red wheat, because it's not as hearty, and so it doesn't have that same wheaty taste if you're going to do some baked goods that you're not looking for that flavor. So those are some of our grains that have gluten in them, but a lot lower gluten. Barley is another one that has gluten in it. And now I'm going to go into some grains that don't have any gluten in them that are also excellent. This is quinoa, and quinoa out of all the grains is probably my favorite grain. Quinoa has all the 8 essential amino acids that make it a complete protein. So no other grain has as much protein in it, and it's also low in carbohydrates. So this is a great option for people that are diabetic. I love to use quinoa in place of rice, just to switch things up. You can add it to scrambled eggs, you can put it in your spaghetti sauces, you can make it for a breakfast cereal in the morning and put honey and fruit on it, and it's so, so good. So that's quinoa. This is sorghum. Sorghum is another great grain to use for gluten-free baked goods. It has kind of a sweeter taste to it, so it makes really great cookies or cakes. Again, when you're doing gluten-free baking, you have to add a few different flours to get the same components that wheat has. But that's a whole different video. So I'm just kind of showing you the different ones. This is amaranth. Amaranth is really high in iron, and it's also high in gluten in vitamin C. This is a gluten-free grain as well. Kind of looks like bird seed, those tiny little seeds. This is teff. This is one of my favorite grains as well, because teff makes excellent pumpkin cookies or quick breads. Has a really good flavor to it. It's from Africa. They use it a lot there. And teff is higher in calcium and iron than most grains. So teff is another excellent option. This is millet. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but millet is really good for digestion. It's one of the best foods, one of the best grains that's alkaline, so it doesn't throw your body off, and it's really good for babies as one of their first grain because it's easy to digest. So here's some of the different grains that you can include into your diet. My website has a whole bunch of recipes to use these different grains to kind of integrate you and how to include them into your diet. So go to my website for more tips and recipes.